And kicking off the main card, we got one of the most anticipated fights on the card. Ian Garry taking on Michael Venom Page. Been some good build up for this fight. Both guys talking shit. Obviously, Ian Garry is a easy guy to target at this point. Definitely made himself kind of a victim, and now it's easy to troll him. But MVP is doing a good job, and definitely glad he's in the UFC. I'm excited to see this press conference today to see the interaction between these two guys, because there's probably not going to be too many other conflicts going on. Not many other trash talkers on this card, but it's going to be a good matchup stylistically. I just don't know if it's going to be entertaining. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this fight, but I could see it being really boring. Ian Garry and MVP both. I guess Ian Garry is he's usually higher volume, but that's because of the opponents that they've been giving him in the UFC have been primarily guys that come forward, pressure you, and Ian Garry's good at jabbing or landing 1-2s, leg kicks, front kicks, kind of touch and run style. And then once he beats you up enough, he starts to come forward and pick and pull and use that head movement and that athleticism and ability to control distance and really start to put it on you. And that's where he gets his finishes normally later. But he doesn't really have a lot of power in his hands. So I think if either guy rocks each other with hands, it's going to be MVP for sure. Ian Garry, primarily all his finishes are through kicks, hard leg kicks or head kicks. And this one, it's going to be interesting to see how he does with someone with such a long reach. He's going to have a 5.5-inch reach disadvantage, and someone that's really good at playing that game, manipulating distance, pull countering, closing that gap quick with wild shots, great kicks, dynamic. And MVP in this one, I think, I know a lot of people are saying he's there to be leg kicked, but I feel like he baits you to leg kick so he could counter, and he could maybe catch Garry with something big if Gary's just not, he feels like he's having a lot of success with the leg kicks, and MVP kind of just baits him. But, man, MVP's had some really lackluster fights as well. Like, we got to be honest. He's fought a lot of smaller guys in his career and been able to run him over, but when he's had other fights, like his most recent fight with Douglas Lima, super dull fight. No one did much of anything. They didn't let many strikes off. And MVP can be really low volume sometimes, and relying on his opponent to pull offense out of him. And I don't know if Garry is going to be the guy to do that, because Garry is kind of similar, where he likes to let his opponent work and then get his reads and get his offense off that way. So I could see it being a really, dull point fight on the outside. And if it plays out like that, I would lean MVP. One thing that's kind of an outlier, or something that could potentially be a factor, is Ian Garry with the shoot box guys. Obviously, his jiu-jitsu and grappling has had to have leveled up. It's just, is he going to be able to get the takedown? Probably, if he really emphasized that during camp, just because I don't think MVP has good wrestling or grappling at all. So yeah, I mean, Ian Garry maybe can go in there and get the submission, but I feel like people say that every fight and he never goes for it, so I can't bank on that. So honestly, I'm going to predict MVP to win a low-volume, lackluster decision, but I'm not confident in this fight. I could see Ian Garry coming out there and maybe even surprising with the stand-up. MVP is a little bit older, but I'm leaning with MVP here.